Hey yo, peace. I come in the righteous name of Emir X. In today's mathematics is understanding, right? Which means number three. Number three, understanding. Understands the best part of living mathematics is to see with the third eye, which is the mind. It's also picture what drives from knowledge and wisdom. How I see today's degree is it shows you, well, when you look at that degree, it says understanding, right? That's a combination of the knowledge and wisdom, right? So it's a combination of the foundation and the manifestation. So what's knowledge and wisdom, right? Knowledge, that's to acquire. That's you acquiring the information, right? And wisdom is you drawing up the manifest. You drawing up the information, or you manifesting it, or bringing it to a higher level, which means doing your own research, doing a cross comparison, or making cross comparisons and comparing it with what you know to be right and exact, right? So when you compare that, when you combine both of them, you blessed with the understanding, and that's what you get. Also, if you just like if you building a house, you got the foundation, which is either the blueprint or the thought of you wanting to build a house, or the blueprint of how it's gonna be built, or the place which you're gonna build the house on, and then the act of building, that's the wisdom, and the final product, that's gonna be the understanding or the finished house, right? So now, with that in mind, knowing what understanding is, why is understanding the best part of living mathematics? How I see that is because when you had an understanding, right, you brought to reality of what has to happen. So you go out and do what needs to be done, right? You're blessed with the reality of what has to happen. So now you go out and do what needs to be done, right? So you brought to that reality. But another thing why it's the best part of living mathematics is because have you ever tried to do something, right? And you had a hard time doing it, or you had to keep on doing it different times. You did a poor done job of doing it, right? Or you was confused the whole way of how you done a process. Even if you did finish it, you may not have done it the correct way. It may have been very hard to bring about. But the best part of living mathematics, because when you're dealing with mathematics, mathematics is Islam and Islam is mathematics. So if mathematics is infinite, math is infinite, Islam is infinite, they the same thing, right? But they both infinite, but also mathematics is the universal laws, rules, and regulations that anything within this universe, any person, place, a thing, any cipher abides by them laws and falls in accordance with them laws, right? So anything you do has to fall in accordance with mathematics, right? And has to be done according to a certain type of way, or certain uh, order of operations and so forth, right? Now, if you ever try to do something not according to them rules and regulations, then you're gonna have a hard time bringing that about, brother. Or you gonna have, or you ain't gonna do it at all, right? Now, when you have the understanding, right, that's the clearer mental picture. So now you able you're able to see picture that within your mind. So now you can visualize where you need to go. Like I said, that brings you to reality of what has to happen, right? Just like if I'm building a house, if I'm building a house without a blueprint, I'm building a house without a cut list, or I'm building a house without any instruction. Even if I do know how to do carpentry or whatever, I'm not gonna get nothing. I'm gonna get a pile and a mess, right? But when you have that clear mental picture, you have direction on what you need to do, right? You've thought about it and you've drawn it up, and now you can picture what you want. You picture you had to way in which you get there. That's why we study our mathematics, because we apply that to our lives, right? Now, just like a chess game. Oh wait, I get to that. That's for the next degree, right? But that's what understanding is, and that's how I see today's math. Now, when we look at today's alphabet, which is number two, pi itself, number three, C is a supreme understanding that enables you to be aware of odd things, right? So how do I see? How does that fit into it, right? It shows to you that whenever you're doing anything and you creating something, you living something out, right? Well, first off, let me just add a little bit to what I said before. Right? When you have that clear mental picture, it helps out and allows you to live out our culture a lot more easier, right, than it is without that. So you're gonna have a hard time living out this culture if you're not abiding, if you switching things around, and you really ain't gonna be living it out. But anyways, let's get back to the this. You gotta be aware of all things, right? You can't when you're doing something, you can't be thinking of just yourself. You gotta be looking everywhere, right? I'll give an example, just like a chess game, right? Whenever you making a moves and shit, and you planning something out, you can't just focus on one piece, or you can't. Let's say if I'm trying to take out one of their pieces, trying to get their queen, or I'm trying to use one of my pieces to get in position, or I'm trying to get them in check, or whatever, right? So whenever you moving, you can't just focus on your own pieces or your own one piece or even their pieces, right? You got to be looking at all. You got to be aware of all things, because guess what? Let's say if I even plan something out, I draw something up, make a manifestation. I'm planning it out, right? And I know, oh, okay, I'm gonna move this piece, and then I'm gonna move this piece, and I'm gonna move this piece, right? But if I'm not aware of all things, I might miss something. And within me, even if I did make a blueprint or an action plan, or okay, I have I have this direction in my head. I'm gonna go this move, and that move, right? But in the middle of you actually executing that, where you gonna fail is maybe while you so focused on one part, or you're not aware of all things, even if this is a little thing in the corner, you could be putting them in check or putting a queen in in the direction to be killed, but by the move you might make might get your best piece on the board took. It may get your last piece on the board took. It may put you in check, and then or it may even put you in checkmate, right? So when you moving, if I'm trying to take they rook with my bishop, or my in the process of me doing that, I may expose my queen. Let's say I move a pawn so that I can block one piece. I might be exposing a whole other piece, right? Just like, because anyone who's played chess will understand this, right? You got to be aware of all things. And even when you do devise a plan and do all this stuff, if you're not aware of all different things, something else can pop up out the woodworks and get you. So we got to take that same approach when living out anything and living out mathematics. So we have to be existed within our supreme divine culture, which is what? Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. Just like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, to whom I bear witness is the only messenger of Allah, and I bear witness that the black man is God and white man is a devil made to be destroyed, right? But that's how I see today's uh, uh, alphabet. Now let's go to 120, right? What's today's 1 through 10? Number 10. Number 10. Number 10. So today's 1 through 10. Number 3. What is the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America? And our planet Earth answer: the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America is 17 million, with the 2 million Indians makes it 19 million. Now the planet Earth is 4.4 billion, right? This shows you the who's, what's, when, where's, and why's pertaining to the black man. So we can have an understanding of self. This shows you understanding of the black nation, right? Because we not only given to us how much of the black man there is, how much numbers there are, but also the different places throughout the earth which we are found, which provides to us the backstory of how we got to them different places and what we did in them different places, but also who makes up the black nation. Because it's not only just the 17 million of us in the wilderness of North America, there's also the 2 million Indians, right? So it shows you that brown, yellow, and red is also part of the original nation. All the brown, yellow, and red races are also of the black nation, right? So it gives you an understanding of self. So you can, but also it tells you that there's 4.4 billion across the entire planet Earth. They're showing that we not just here, we across the entire planet Earth, right? And that gives you an understanding of the black man. So you got a clear mental picture of self. When you have an understanding of self, also, how do we get here, right? We was brought here through slavery, through the whole thing. You know, John Hawkins with his ship, good ship Jesus, brought us to the Caribbean and now brought us here. So we know how we got here, and now we gonna know when you know what happened, you know what is, right? And when you know what is and what's happened, you know what needs to be done, right? You know, if you study the past history, you know what happened. So now you know where you are currently, right? And you know the direction which you need to have, right? Which brings you the reality of what you got to go out and do, right? But all these things are crucial and important, because without an understanding of self, right, you can't do anything with it. You can know that the black man is God, but you don't know who the black man is. You don't have an understanding. You don't picture yourself as actually being God. Whenever you try to do something, live something out, you're gonna be awkward when you're doing it. You're gonna look weak and timid when you go out and do something. You gonna say, the black man is God. You might whisper it. You might look a little bit. We're gonna be awkward in your execution. Just like if I go out, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna build me a shack, right? Or I'm gonna go out to the grocery store and I don't know, get this ingredient, right? But my execution is gonna be awkward and it's gonna look weird and I'm not gonna be doing it naturally or right at all, or I might not even do it at all, right? So that's what a day's degree shows to us, right? Whenever we don't have an understanding, we're gonna be awkward in your execution. Right, when you know the black man is God, but if you understand the black man is God, that makes you even more powerful. You're able to be what? The true and living God. You able to live that out. So that's another way that I see the days 1 through 10 in the 120. Right? Now when we go to the next degree, number 3, in the 1 through 14 is the understanding degree, and the 1 through 14 is number 3. Why do we lay half original main Columbus discovered the pole part of the earth? Answer, because the original main is a God and the owner of the earth and knows of the square and seven. It's chosen for himself the best part. He did not care about the pole part. Columbus was a half original main who was born in Italy, which is in Southeast Europe. His full name was Christopher Columbus, and the place he discovered was North America. He found the Indians here who were exiled 16,000 years ago from India. They are original people, right? This shows us two things, right? If you look at the beginning and the end, it says that it says that the black man is a God and the owner of the earth, and it shows and proves that at the end by saying, what did Columbus find when he came and traveled here with the help of the original man? He couldn't even get here without the original man helping him, right? And he didn't even get here in the first place. He stopped Dominican Republic, the Caribbean, everywhere. He ain't know where he was, right? He was a drunkard, probably, shit, doing all God knows what. I ain't even gonna say that because that's implying a mystery God. But he's doing this and that, a drunkard filled with liquor and alcohol, probably on drugs too. You don't know what the fuck he was doing, right? He was landing on one place, landing here, right? But anyways, eventually he came to America, and who did he see here? He seen the original man. He didn't see white man. Just like if you go to civilization on Mars, you ain't gonna see no mark of the white man there. You ain't gonna see the mark of a silly people neither. You gonna see the mark of a civilized, intelligent people, right? Just like you came here, you seen what? The original man with your eyes. You didn't see no white man here, right? And since he's seen that shit, and it shows and proves that we the God and the owner of the earth, and we know of his squares because we've been here. And it also shows and proves that no matter where you go amongst the entire 196,940,000 square miles, 57,255,000 square miles of which are land, and 29 million of which are useful land, right? And when you look upon the land, you see that you either see the original man himself physically, or you see a mark of him being there, right? And evidence that he was there before anyone else. We've been here before the earth was even created. We created the earth, right? So that shows and proves these things. Now, when you study the lesson even more, you realize it shows you how to devote your time and energy, right? And how to prioritize, right? Because we don't want to worry about the Pope part, right? If you know someone wants to accept the truth, don't worry about what they do. They already had the chance to accept. They had the truth presented to them. They rejected it, right? So don't worry about what they doing. Or don't worry about what goes on within devil civilization. We know the white man's going to do devilishment. The color man's going to do devilishment. So don't worry about that. Worry about what you need to do, which is the best part. Worry about your own part, right? And what's the best part? That's the root of civilization. That's the mind. So that's the minds of the 85%. So don't be like, oh brother, there's all these different things going on. You know, I ain't even see this. There's that, and that's going on. What do we do? Don't get discouraged when you see how bad the world is, right? Instead, get encouraged and realize you have to go out and save the 85%. So don't worry about the people who won't accept it, right? Go out and go to the best part, which is root of civilization. That's the mind of the 85%. So it shows us go out and teach, right? We know and understand. We got to go out and teach, right? We qualify ourselves, do the wisdom, right? So we got to worry about the best part. Just like how you can't worry about someone else's doing. Worry about your own self, right? Prioritize. Also, right? You know, there may be this and that going on, but we got to worry about the best part. Don't be like, oh, brother, I ain't know it's going to be this bad. Don't think about that. Be like, oh, it's this bad. We have to go out and teach, right? Go to the best part, which is root of your civilization, and keep working and upholding what you have. right? It shows you prioritize. Don't worry about the po part. Don't try to reason with an unreasonable person. Because you're only person you're gonna make look foolish is yourself for trying to play that foolish game. And whatever I say goes for me too. Right? I've tried to reason with an unreasonable person. I've done this. So I can tell you from experience it won't work. You know this when you study it. But even if you try it won't work. I know and understand. Right? So don't try to reason with an unreasonable person. Go out and work on preserving and upholding what you have, and then adding on to that by going to the best part, which is the root of your civilization. I keep saying it again and again, but it's very important, right? Which is your mind and the mind of the 8 of 5 cents. So go out and try to save them instead of saying, oh, why is the world like this or why is the world like that? That just shows you we got a lot of work to do. We got to go out and teach, right? Now, the days 1 through 40. 1 to 40 is number 7 was a diamond of our planet. Right? Part itself. Today's 1 through 40 is the understanding degree in the 1 through 40 is number 3 was a diamond of our planet. Answer 7,926 miles. Right? And just like I said, we gotta know what happens with the inside of the earth. We gotta know all things. We can't just know, how does the earth measure this way? We gotta know each and every single different thing. But also with the nodes of the earth, we have to understand everything pertaining to the earth, because that's the home of Islam, right? And we live upon the earth, so we gotta know and understand everything, so that while we live in, we can use the earth to make it the most productive as it can. But also when you look at your woman, right? If you don't know your woman, you don't know what you have to do, you don't know how it has to be done, right? You can't do what? That's the home of Islam. That's where you got to put your seed so it can grow and develop and be born, right? You can't do that if you don't know the proper things you have to do with your earth, right? You can't just know it from one aspect, right? Like just like I said in the chess game, you got to be aware of all things. Just like the number 3, the third degree in the alphabet, right? Got to be aware of all things. So we can't just know what the square mileage is. We can't just know what the useful lane is. And we can't just know what the circumference or the weight. We got to be aware of all things, brother. So this is just showing and proving that. And that's how I see today's degrees. And I strive and I will, as the guy Saladin say, that this was helpful and informative, right? I'm just your brother. I'm still learning, and it's to document and show where I'm at. No. This ain't document me. I don't care about me. I may have even said that. Oh, this is document my journey. This ain't about me. But this just to show my journey as a what? A show what I've done. Or I don't even want show my actions and show my growth and development, but for it to be a learning experience and a teachable situation and a teachable moment. And the situation, the moment is my journey through knowledge itself. So it's used as a teaching tool, so that anybody else can look at it and learn from it. So I will and I strive to make these things as best as I can, as most informative as I can. So, I always do your own research. And y'all have to read. Right? We got plenty of books. Right? So we got to go out and read the publications of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? And go on to Melchizedek website. I'll put it down here. Melchizedek Supreme Shabbat Allah.com, right? Has almost all the publications of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Go his website, check out the brother's videos. Melchizedek Supreme Shabbat Allah, right? Melchizedek Supreme Shabbat Allah.com, right? Now I try to go out and link it in the description, right? I was gonna pull out a book that had it, but I don't got it right now. But yeah, go get the teachings and the publications of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And even if you don't get it from his website, look on his website. You can see the different things, and then go get it anywhere else if you don't want to do that, right? But get it and study it and read it, because this is what we need to go out and study. Is positive reading material, and it's very important for your growth and development. You can't just hear what I say. You got to go out and do your own research. So peace. Right? And I be Emir X. Keep your vibrations up, your frequencies, your positive energy, and drink your plenty of water. Peace.